You got your footy team too, and you got a good life now compared to what you grew up as anyway. Do you ever think to yourself, where am I going to get the energy to take this on? Because it's just coming at me from every direction. Newspapers, people write stuff about you. Then you got your opposition who are going to be directing traffic at your way. Why do you do it? You're not doing it because it's your job. I know it's your job, but you're not doing it because you've got to turn up to the bank and work to pay the mortgages. What is it? And why are you doing it? I mean, as a private individual, I wonder why a politician would put themselves through the prime ministership role. Minister's different. Local members different.
Sure.
Prime Minister is right on the edge, and you're a target. You've got a target on you, and they're going to come at you from every direction for any little thing. Why does Anthony Albanese do that?
I'm passionate about this country. I love it. And I think we are the greatest country on earth. But I think this decade will determine what Australia looks like in 2050. And we can either seize the opportunities which are there, or we can be complacent and watch the world move past us. There's nowhere you'd rather be. We have everything under the ground and in the sky, best solar resources in the world, but under the ground we have lithium, cobalt, copper, vanadium, all of these things.
Iron ore.
That will power the globe in the 21st century. There's nowhere better positioned to benefit from green hydrogen, which will be, if we do, when we're much older, we can do a podcast together. We can call it Two Old Blokes or something. Yeah, we can talk about
Two old farts.
how important it is to Australia in 2040. We have incredible opportunities, but the other thing that I think that keeps me going, I think when you grow up as I did, my mum, it's interesting, the title of this podcast isn't that different from the title of my biography, which is called Telling It Straight.
Straight talk, yeah.
And, I grew up with just my mum. She instilled in me a confidence about, I could be who I wanted to be. She was always not very well. She lived just for 65 years in the one council house that became then State Department took it over for her whole life there in Camperdown. She left school before she got any qualifications. She had scarlet fever as a kid. She's just someone who wasn't well. And she was spent at age 65. She was just done, checked out. And she, though, had incredible unconditional love for me, as many mums do, live through their children. And that gave me confidence, but it also meant that, I was living, because she was in hospital for long periods of time, I was living by myself at a very young age, early teens there in Camperdown, getting fed by neighbours who helped look after us. And I'm tough and resilient. So one of the things that when people throw all sorts of things at you and, I don't read some of the columnists and I don't turn on to Sky After Dark, is that it's predictable too. It's just predictable. So I don't take it personally. That's it's like them sitting in a stand cheering for the Roosters if they're Roosters fans against South. I don't take it personally. That's, they're cheering for them.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But I know with confidence that what my government is doing is making a difference to people who need government in their lives to make a difference. But I know also that I'm someone who, because of all of that background, the experience I have, is able to bring together business interests, unions, civil society, engage with people across the spectrum as comfortable in a pub as I am in a boardroom and be optimistic about Australia's future. And I think that is one of the things that the next election will be about. Me saying we will provide more cost of living help, but will also help build a stronger future, an optimistic vision, and my opponents being negative. You can't move forward by just saying what you're against. And when I was opposition leader, I had a range of policies out there that we're implementing, like the Housing Australia Future Fund and cheaper childcare and National Reconstruction Fund for new industries. All of these things we had out there. My opponents have a nuclear plan sometime in the 2040s that, doesn't stack up, which is why no private sector operator will fund it. And they're saying people will be worse off. They're calling our cost of living relief a sugar hit. Australians are better than that. And I'm confident that during the election campaign, we will advocate for a second term to build on the foundations that we've established in our first term.
I have one final thing, and it'll be very quick, but what was your mum's name?
Mary Ann.
If Mary Ann was sitting here right now, talking to her son, listening to her son, and of course Mary Ann would always be wishing you the very best in this campaign, what would you say to your mum?
Oh, thank you. Simple as that. I'm here because of sacrifices that she made. People can read the book, but, my mum made the difficult decision in 1963 to have a child out of wedlock. She adopted my father's name, and all of the neighbourhood in what was a close-knit neighbourhood were told, as I was, that my father had died. And the plan at St Margaret's, Darlinghurst, was for me to be adopted out, which was very much a part of what occurred a lot at that time. Now, there was a nun there at the hospital, brought me, the young baby, in to her, and she knew that my mum wasn't the sort of person who would want to give up her child, would want to avoid it regardless of the circumstances that were difficult. And people were placed in, a lot of pressure was placed on people.
Especially in those days.
In those days, in the early 60s. And my mum chose to keep me and to give me, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had everything else, something that's more important, which is that unconditional love and support. And it's remarkable that she was able to do that. She, even though she didn't have much formal education herself, she encouraged me to stay on and go to year 12. I had to work my way through school and do all that, everything from Macca's to Grace Brothers to working as a paper boy and doing all those things that you do. And then I started work at the Commonwealth Bank the day after I did my my last HSC exam. She sacrificed a lot for me, and one of the things that drives me is repaying that. I've got a responsibility, given the position I'm in, to work every day. And one of the things, whatever my critics might say about me, you won't find anyone who says that I don't work my ass off.
Prime Minister, thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Mark.